Happy Friday and welcome back, insiders. Right now I'm watching INBS. We got, let's see, another minute until this opens up from the Halt. So I want to watch that on this recap with you guys. I also want to talk about this insane morning panic red degree move that I butchered today, which is one of my favorite moves. It's one of my most profitable setups. So I think there's a lot to learn from what I did wrong on it. And there's a few things I think I already know what I did wrong. Also, I woke up this morning feeling a little bit under the weather. Also, yesterday I was feeling a little bit under the weather, and I usually say be careful trading on those days just because you'll often trip over yourself, and you could definitely see that in yesterday's recording and today's recording. Because again, like I said yesterday, trading doesn't have to be difficult, but sometimes you make it difficult for yourself, and that's what we like to avoid. So I think today's recap is going to be really good for that. So we can hit next week off and running with a clear head. Here we go. We got 5 more seconds. Let's see, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, opened lower. Notice how I don't have any trades on this ticker. Shame on me for that, because there's okay front side. It was a bit grindy, but nice volume, you gotta say it. And when a ticker has this much volume and it's this thickly traded, you typically don't want to go for breakouts. You just want to buy on any sort of bigger dips, and I think that could have made me a lot today. And we had a lot of tickers that we were looking to trade today. My biggest problem was I was always slow to place orders. I would often miss my fills just by a hair, and then I would chase just to get flushed on. So I was just not in the flow these last 2 days, which has been unfortunate because we had opportunities. I just wasn't able to capitalize on them so good. But focusing on the positive, it's always important to remember all it takes is 1 week or 1 to 3 days per month to make the whole entire month. I'll often have 1 or 2 weeks that are a total wash, a little bit like this week being a wash, and then I'll have 1 or 2 weeks that really make the whole entire week. I also want to still think, I'm green on the month, which is good, and this is something I'm really proud of here. I'm up 22.38% on my average position cost on my portfolio. I'm slightly green. I still need to import today's trades, but here it is. My average position, it has increased for this whole entire portfolio. So I'm definitely experiencing growing pains, which is totally fine. Here's a good example of a growing pain. This is probably one of my worst trades ever. I had a 20% loss resulting in a $1,000 loss, and this was trading backside right here. I got caught in this flush on SYRA that we talked about yesterday. So that was really, really brutal. And this goes into the whole concept of trading doesn't have to be difficult, but what I've been doing wrong is I've been hesitating on entries, a really simple thing that I shouldn't be doing, and I've been trading oftentimes backside or things I shouldn't be doing. So if I just erased all the things that I shouldn't be doing, which every now and then you get sloppy and you do that, it probably would have been a pretty green week. I mean, look at yesterday. I did everything right at first and I was up $900, and then I ended up giving all that back, stopping out at the end of the day at down $1,200. I did a few more trades after the recap video, which actually was good. I made back almost everything. I was back to break even, and then I started doing silly backside trades again. So again, this was backside and this was backside and these were frontside trades. It's really that simple. I don't know why I was getting sloppy there. So shame on me. I definitely deserve being red this week. But even for how bad I traded, it's still kind of refreshing that to think I'm not even down that much. So that's good. All I really need to be doing is having some okay opportunities and doing some okay trading, and sometimes I have my best weeks. And when I really am in the flow, that's when beautiful things happen. So let's go here and talk about this morning panic on TOP. Usually on a morning panic, I'm looking for like a 6% pullback, sometimes a little bit more, but if it's a little bit more, that's already where I'm getting a little iffy. I'm thinking to myself, this might not hold. So my goal is to break back over 7 into the 750s. We have 5 minutes before the market opens. You can kind of see that here at the top left corner. So let me go ahead, press play. 2, 1, there we go. So it does pop up higher right away, and on the 5 minute, it doesn't look bad. I'll pause it for a second. Look at this 5 minute here on the bottom left. It doesn't look too shabby. It seems like, okay, well, we found support, we're gonna pop higher. So this is what's going through the back of my mind, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe it's gonna hold here. So I decide, hey, you know what? This looks like you're gonna rip over 7. Let me move up a limit order here and try to get an entry for that move higher. And look how long I hesitate here. I'm really thinking about this for a really long time. I could have been in and already taking some profits at this point. So at this point, it's hanging around way too long, and it tried like 3-4 attempts here and it didn't break out. So at this point, I probably should not be attempting it anymore. So lo and behold, I finally do get an entry and I get flushed on, and I'm like, well, that was silly. All I wanted was that backside sell-off around 650. And here you can see I am no longer in the driver's seat. This is pretty painful to watch for me. I have to almost laugh to handle how painful it is. So here I notice it's having a lot of difficulties. I don't have the biggest size, but I'm not using my size correctly. I should be going long a little bit more aggressively each size. But now I'm long around $14,000, which is, for only like B or almost A plus setup. So I'm in with way too much size here, and it's not working. It's going against me. I'm still averaging down. There's a lot of sell volume here. There's a good chance it's going to keep flushing. So what I should have done is closed it, which is, yeah, look at that. I was trying to close it here. It pops up, and now I'm trying to close it. I'm still hesitating. You never want to hesitate too much as a trader. You want to be in the driver's seat. You want to say, hey, if this happens, I do this. If this doesn't happen, I don't do this. It has to be really clear. So this is often something when I'm a little bit under the weather, I'll start hesitating. Look at that. I'm down 1,200 all of a sudden. And at this point, I hit the sell the bid hotkey, and lo and behold, I actually sell most of my shares at 632, which is the perfect low. Because I hesitated. I should have stopped out here, took my $500 loser, or stopped out here, took my $300 loser. It's okay, whatever. Trades often don't work. I'm only right like 67% of the time according to my stats. Or at least I'm green. See, it doesn't mean I'm right. Sometimes you're wrong, but you still make out with a small profit. But according to my stats, I'm green. I have green trades 67% of the time. So, that still leads 33% of the time where I'm going to be losing. So take those losses quickly. There's no reason I should have held to stop out at VWAP. That is so, even below VWAP. How sloppy is that? Trading doesn't have to be hard. All right, TOP popping up a little bit and fully stopping out. At this point, I'm thinking to myself, wow, I just hit max loss for no reason at the open. Now, I did have a few winners on it before, and there's another ticker I traded before, so I wasn't at max loss exactly. I think at this point, I was down like 950 or something. So I still had $50 before max loss. And at this point, SUNW pops up, one of our other lead gappers, and we just had a nice red to green move as well. A little bit sloppy, not your classic red to green move, but I'm looking for a quick pullback here and some continuation. Mind you, I don't have my sizing right. I'm only along I only have 10,000 shares. I should be, you guys know this, I'm trying to do 5K as my starter size with 4 lots total. So 5 times 4 is 20,000 full size, which means I should be long closer to about $25,000 as my, or 25,000 shares as my initial lot size. So because I mess up this lot size, you're going to see it becomes a little bit harder for me to get green on the day. Look at this. What's going on here? Oh, I didn't get a full fill. That's why. Okay, here I'm slowly getting my first lot filled, but it pops up nicely and I'm only making $50 here. This should have been like a $200 trade if I just traded it with my initial starter lot size. So that's really sloppy there, and I think that's a good reminder. Don't unnecessarily size down, especially on the setups that are good. If anything, I should have went with 50,000 shares here, so a little bit sloppy there on my end. Same trade kind of happens again. I had some limit orders, it pops back up, take some profits. Here's actually one of my better trades on the day, surprisingly, because it is a sub-dollar and it's a little bit of a wiki ticker, but NSTG has a lot of resistance here, so I want to get in some trades. It has room to run till about 40 cents. So I'm thinking, okay, longer 5-minute pullback. Let me try to get a little bit aggressive here. First lot, 10,000 shares, should be more. And I actually end up closing this one thinking, okay, well, that was a little bit of a fumble. I didn't get my full lot size. I actually wanted a bigger pullback. So let me not just hold this and hope that maybe something good's going to happen, because I'm going to be in a wrong mindset. What I want is that pull below 0.3. So that's what I'm waiting for, and I do get this. Here we go, it's selling up. So at this point, I'm placing some orders here, and I'm using my hotkey as well. Enter. Still way too small share size. I should be long like 40,000 shares right now, but it bounces up and I get exactly what I wanted. Quick bounce trade. Now I could have actually ended up holding this one because it does crawl higher, but you got to remember I'm max loss on the day. So sometimes you're just trying to find a little bit of momentum in the right direction. So here's actually a move worth sharing as well. TOP, we have this descending trend line. I'm looking for that retest of that trend line. Right now, it's a little bit in the backside, so I'm really cautious, but sell volume is really light and it has that slight front side momentum here where we're moving off the lows, and I'm looking for this supply zone. So my goal is to trade this and get into the supply zone. You can see I am chasing with my limit orders a little bit higher, and you typically do not want to chase higher, especially when you're already below VWAP, because you can get those pretty sudden move downs. Those can put you red really, really quickly. Here's actually the exact move I was waiting for. So there's that bigger pullback. Very, very light volume, so it doesn't look like it's going to flush down, and it has that potential to move higher. I'm using way too small share size. This is really what it looks like when you're not in any sort of flow. Look at INBS. It actually popped up, made a new high, and now it looks like it's starting to trend down a little bit. This is a little crazy. So I'm ending the day down 333. Nothing really too bad. Bit of a scratch day, I would call it, as long as I'm not at max loss. Which, with my increased size, I could probably move my max loss to probably negative 2K. But I'm not going to do that until I'm getting maybe even like a 3K profit day or a 4K profit day, because I don't want to have a back-to-back 2K red day. I feel like back-to-back 1K red days really don't bother me because they're pretty quick to make back. But once you're down like 4K from the last 2 trading days, that's happened to me before when I increased my max loss. Now I don't want to get there yet. First, I want to have some record green days before I move my max loss down. Here's tops. It just kept on grinding lower, so good thing I didn't trade that one. I don't think there was any reason for me to trade tops besides having FOMO or revenge trading, so understanding that was good to stay away from it. I had the right idea with the red to green move. It did end up selling back off like 9%, and guess what? It did pop up a total of 20%, so I had the right idea. I just got a little bit bored here and had some FOMO because it didn't pull back like I thought it would. Then I entered, and then I entered even more before the actual proper 6-7% pullback, and I didn't cut my losses. Then I finally stopped out at max loss. Then I chased a little bit. So I just did basically everything wrong. The market was playing me like a fiddle. All I had to do was remain calm and collected. I could have bought off VWAP like my initial plan was. I could have closed for a small win or even break even. And then when it actually ended up holding and not being at max loss, I could have just went and did a rebuy and looked for that move. And that could have put me pretty good green on the day just by being a little bit more calm and collected, like Tom was saying in the Discord. Looking back, everything's always 20/20, but even in the moment, I knew I am trading really poorly today, which every now and again happens. So make sure if you are trading poorly and you're having one of those trading sessions where you're trending down or you got lucky, like I had a few lucky trades yesterday, just identify that, take the green and get some rest, do something fun, have a good dinner or lunch or breakfast or whatever time zone you're in. But there's days to keep trading and trading and trading, and that's when you're trending up. And there's days to not do that, like when you're ranging P&L, just stop when you're up. Or when you notice you're getting lucky and you're not really feeling good or you're distracted, stop when you're up. It really is that simple. We just like to overcomplicate it, and sometimes on a certain day we're just like, I really want to do X, so we force ourselves to do more than we really should. I grew up surfing, and sometimes you get in this state where you're just missing waves and you're just paddling for this one, paddling for this one, paddling for that one. You get yourself exhausted when all you could have done is just kind of wait for the wave to come to you. Put yourself in the right position and then be patient. So surfing and trading have a lot in common in that regard. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and dropping that like. Have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget, Wednesday is Valentine's Day, so don't let that sneak up on you. I'll see you Monday.